Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Head, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion. Your host, Hunter. Welcome back to the Baseball Head 2. And hope you like this video. Hit that subscribe button. As you know, Pete Rose, the legendary Hit King, passed away on Monday, September 30th, 2024. Just a couple of things to sort of reflect upon his life and his legacy as a player, and really the aftermath of him passing away. First of all, he's a guy that got every ounce of his talent and put it on the field. Everything he could possibly do, he did it. 3 batting titles, MVP, Rookie of the Year, 3 championships. One of the real legendary teams of the last 60 years in the Big Red Machine. The center point of that team, along with Johnny Bench. And, of course, he went over to the Phillies in 79 and became a big... In 1980, they won the World Series that year with Philadelphia. And then he broke the hit record. One of the real great competitors in the history of the game. And he's forever linked with Ty Cobb, obviously, from more than just the fact that he had all those hits. We know they are the 2 most controversial figures in the history of baseball, because that we know that Ty Cobb was a rough guy. If you follow baseball and you know baseball history, he was a rough guy. And Pete, great competitor, but his life outside of Major League Baseball, and after he retired, obviously he's got this scandal where they found out that when he was a manager of the Reds, he had gambled a lot of money on the Reds, and that got him banned from baseball. Now, this video is not about the whole thing about the gambling. I've sort of changed my attitude about it just overall. Major League Baseball has done a disservice to him and really to us. Now, we know that Pete wasn't a perfect guy. He was a guy that he lied for a long time about him gambling on baseball. Everybody knew that he had was all in the Dow report, and he was very stubborn in talking about it. Didn't want to deal with it. But we all know that he gambled. We all know that he was dealing with some very unsavory characters. There was a documentary that came out this past summer. And to me, this is why I was so surprised that he passed away, was that they followed him along in this documentary, basically talking about his whole life, from when he was a kid in Cincinnati with his father, to when he got signed by the Reds and became one of the great players in baseball, was a real true attraction of all the players. He was the number 1 player that everybody looked to, even more than Willie Mays and Henry Aaron and all the great players in the American League. He was a attraction unto himself. Now, obviously, his legacy is tainted because he's not in the Hall of Fame. Everybody knows that he's a great player, and he should be in the Hall of Fame. It's obvious. Now, he had said in this documentary that they'll probably put him in after he passes away. And I thought that right away when I heard that he passed away. Right after the Met game, I was watching the Mets doubleheader on that Monday, and I was reading online that he had passed away, and the first thing I thought is they're going to put him in the Hall of Fame after he passes. Now, what's happened and what's been interesting about what's happened is Major League Baseball put out a tweet mentioning that he passed away, the all-time hit leader. He's the all-time leader in games played in Major League Baseball, the all-time leader in at-bats, the all-time leader in plate appearances. But there's been no statement from the Commissioner of Baseball, Rob Manfred. There's been no statement from the union, and particularly Tony Clark, who's the head of the union. It's almost like he didn't matter. One of the great players of the 20th century. He was on the All-Century team when they announced in 1999. The greatest hits leader of all time, one of the great hitters of all time, one of the great players of all time. And the fact that Major League Baseball, particularly the commissioner, has not talked about him, and particularly that the union has ignored his passing, is very troubling to me. I saw this earlier, and I saw how his death has been ignored. And we know all his flaws as a human being. We know that. If you watch the documentary, it was called Charlie Hustle and the Matter of Pete Rose. We know he was a complicated guy. He had a lot of issues. All right. But it doesn't change the fact what he did on the field. He was punished enough, and the fans always recognize him. If you ever went to the Hall of Fame, somebody always left a note with Pete's name on it, and they would attach it to the bottom of the walls or on a wall saying Pete Rose, Hall of Famer. Fans would do that. All the fans love Pete. The fans didn't care about this gambling thing. This is a thing with baseball and an ancient thing. And to be honest with you, it's very hypocritical now, baseball, that during games they encourage gambling, there's betting online. But the greatest player and one of the greatest hitters of all time in Major League Baseball is not in the Hall of Fame. I was hearing earlier today that what they could have done is got him in the Hall of Fame, but that he was banned from baseball. You could have had his plaque. You could have had a little ceremony with him, or no ceremony, and that's it. Now, and to let him enjoy that day, and now he can't. And the fact that Major League Baseball is ignoring them, Major League Baseball is ignoring him, is it bothers me as a fan. It's one thing if, they were mad at Pete, they were disgusted with his attitude. I can understand that. But the man passed away, and you have to acknowledge more than just a tweet on social media that he passed. You need more than that. Baseball needs more than that. But again, this is another issue when it comes to Major League Baseball, in particular with this particular commissioner, having sort of ignoring difficult things he doesn't want to deal with. Okay? This particular commissioner ignores a lot of stuff. He pushes it to the side. But this is very important to a lot of fans that love this player. And the fact that, again, he's still not in there and he's gone now. Whatever terrible things he did in his life, he had to sort of deal with it when he passed. Now you let me know what you think about this video. Please subscribe to the Baseball Hut. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.